I'm Travis from Rule 1, and we're going to talk about deciphering debt. The technical definition of debt is the amount of money owed to a lender by a borrower. On a personal level, if most people would consider their car an asset, right? It gets you to work and it enables you to earn an income. And most people are going to take out a loan for that car. And in that context, if you stop paying your payments on your car, the bank has the right to repossess it. And the same is true for business. A business takes on debt because they're looking to expand. They want to expand their moat, their competitive advantage. They want to buy assets that are going to earn them a return into the future. And they have the same obligation as you do when you take out the loan on your car, right? They have to make the payments on that debt. And if they don't, those can be repossessed. And so that's what debt is, and that's why it's so critical, both from a personal point of view and from a business point of view. It's not uncommon for businesses to have debt, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's something that businesses do to help them expand their operations and to earn a return. And so what's really critical to understand at a really fundamental level is that a business is simply a collection of assets that earn a return. And a business is about allocating capital wisely. And if the business can borrow money to buy an asset that's going to earn a return, that is going to earn a return higher than what it costs to pay down the debt, then we consider that a very good thing. And it's very critical for businesses to expand, right? To continue to grow their business, to be able to offer products and services to customers. So when we're looking at businesses and looking at their debt levels, we think of debt at Rule 1 differently than most industry experts do. We tend to relate it to personal finance. And one of the things that you will see in a lot of industry information about debt is they'll look at something called debt to equity ratio. And if you have a debt to equity ratio of 1, they'll say that that's good. And what that's saying is that for all the debt that I have enough assets or equity to cover that debt. And that's great, right? But in the event that the business gets into some kind of economic downturn or there's some kind of pressure on the business, now we're faced with a situation where the business actually has to sell the very assets that make it tick, that make it run, that make it earn a return and make it a wonderful business. They'd have to sell those to cover their debt obligation. And no family would manage their household that way, right? They would, if they could prevent it, are not going to be in a situation where everything that they own, they owe money on, because if there's any hardship in the family at all, they're in a position where they're going to lose everything. Most families look at their debt based on how much income they have, right? And they're going to make sure that they have enough income to cover their day-to-day living expenses, plus their debt obligations and other obligations they have their family. And at Rule 1, we look at it in a very similar way. So we will look at how much net income or free cash flow a business has relative to its total debt. And we want that to be a ratio of 3 or less. So in other words, a wonderful business that you're looking at, if it has total debt of, let's say $1 billion, we want to see enough free cash flow or net income that could pay that debt off in 3 years or less. So when we're looking at Rule 1 companies, some of the key guidelines that we evaluate on a company's debt are their total amount of debt is obviously important. What's critical is how much free cash flow and net income they make. And if they can pay off their total debt with at least 3 years of net income and free cash flow, then we feel very comfortable with the business. But we need to also look at that over periods of time, right? So one of the weaknesses of looking at it just in one period of time is that you don't see trends. And so what we've learned practicing Rule 1 is that you really need to look at history. And so, for example, we may have a company that if we look back 15 years, their debt has increased and it's steadily increased, and all the way to your current period, it just continues to increase. But their net income and free cash flow hasn't been increasing at the same pace. And so we see the ratio go from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3. And the question you have to ask yourself is, will the business stop growing their debt and then outpace their free cash flow? And if we see that, then we have to start looking deeper into the company and understanding why are they using the debt? What is it being used for? And do they have a plan? Management will often discuss if they have a plan for managing their debt and what their debt goals are. And that will lead us down a path of digging a little bit deeper into debt. Great thing about the toolbox is that you can go in and see debt information all in one location. So we'll calculate total debt and the ratio of total debt to free cash flow and net income. And you can actually see that complete picture for at least 20 or 30 years back. And so I start there, I look at the trends, I look at the current ratios, and then from there, if we need to, the next step is to go into the 10K. And the 10K has a section in it called management discussion. And in the management discussion, they're typically going to discuss any new debt that was taken on and why they took that debt on. And it'll give you a sense for, is this debt something that makes sense for the business? Are they using this debt to expand their moat, to expand their ability to grow the business, to expand our ability to get returns on our capital that we're presumably going to put in this business if it passes all 4 M's? So the reason it's so critical to understand debt in Rule 1 investing is that not only do we need to understand why a company is taking on debt and understand how that plays into their future prospects, but more importantly, we want to look for businesses that can withstand any kind of economic shock. And if we see an economic shock similar that we saw during COVID or even back in the financial crisis of 2008, 2009, what will happen is if a company is no longer able to generate a consistent amount of net income and free cash flow, that puts the fundamental business at risk to the point that we saw businesses go bankrupt and we saw businesses go into a position where they had to sell assets, which we know those assets are part of the business's ability to earn returns into the future. And so as Rule 1 investors, rule number 1 is don't lose money. And being able to look at debt, understand debt, and make an assessment whether or not this company can withstand any kind of future economic shock is absolutely critical to us being confident that we're willing to put our money, our family's money into a business.